Is poetry a drug? Before we answer that, let's define what an addiction is. An addiction is you are addicted to a substance or an activity, right? That's what a drug is. It's something you use to calm yourself, something you use to make yourself feel better. That's usually why people do drugs, right? You got a headache, take some drugs, feel better. You can't deal with life, do some drugs, feel better. So now, does poetry fall under that category of drugs? In my mind, yes, because I am without a doubt a writing junkie. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I pop pills of poetry. If I could overdose, I would have overdosed by now. Like, easily, I would have overdosed on poetry. Yes, easily. If not my own work, then by others' work, because I consume a lot of poetry. I take in a lot of emotions of other people. I would have overdosed a long time ago if poetry was like a real substance. You can just like, you pop it, nah, I'd have died. Like, I'd have died. Heavy, I'd have died. But yeah, without a doubt, poetry is a drug. And since we're talking about poetry, there's two ways you can consume it. Either you write it or you listen to it / read it. Now, with reading and listening, I don't know how addictive those two are. Now, if you're like a real bookworm, I can see how they are very addictive. But if you're like a normal person, like, do I define myself as a normal person? Oh, hell no. If you're like a normal person who doesn't read that much, because apparently if you read a lot, you're not normal, because normal people don't read that much for some reason. I don't know why, but whatever. So if you're like a normal person who doesn't read that much, then this doesn't apply to you. But what I want to talk about, the main question I want to ask is writing poetry or writing in general, is that a drug? The answer is yes, without a doubt. Let's be real here. Let's be real here. How many times have you been sitting there with your girl or your man and you have like a conversation and in the back of your mind you be like, I'm gonna turn this into a poem? How many times you had that? How many times were you just sitting there and you felt so heartbroken, so much pain in your heart that the only thing you could do was write? Hmm? Hmm? Or you were at dinner and you were eating this delicious dish, and I'm talking about this was delicious, and you thought to yourself, if only I could convey this feeling of deliciousness into words. It was right there, right there, right there. There's a lot of times when I was thinking about writing poetry when I know I shouldn't be. I'm sitting at work talking to people and they say something, I'm like, yo, that line would be an amazing poem right there. That's the mind of a junkie. And it's okay because it's poetry. You're not hurting anybody. It's poetry. You're supposed to be an addict of poetry. You're supposed to be an addict of writing because writing is therapeutic. It is. It's therapeutic. Trust me when I tell you that being an addict of writing, being an addict of creating poetry is a good thing. I know for me, when I don't write for a long time, I go into withdrawals. Like, you see me itching, like, yo, man, I need a pen in the pad or something. Got me scratching my palm, like, yo, man, if I don't start writing soon, man, it's gonna be a problem. Or I'm sitting there having all my emotions, like right here, just swirling, and they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it feels like I'm gonna explode because I didn't write them out. And my emotions, they will swirl and they will amass and they will become bigger and bigger until I get super emotional for no reason because I didn't write it out. That's why writing is very important. That's why you use poetry as a drug for your emotions. If you have a physiological problem, go to the doctor. He'll give you some drugs to calm you down. If you have something you yourself can deal with because it's an emotional problem, it's right here or right here, depending on your philosophy, you can write it out. And writing it out is always a good thing. So without a doubt, I have to say that poetry is a drug because it is an activity you can get addicted to. I'm addicted. I mean, if I lose the ability to write, life would not be good. No, 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 no. You would see a super depressed, sitting here right now. I wouldn't even be talking. I'd just be crying the whole video through, like, I can't believe I'm all day, all day. I'm telling you, poetry is a drug. It's my drug of choice. Honestly, seriously, seriously. If I wasn't a social person like the way I am, I would have tattooed poetry right here. Poet, like right here, poet on my chest, like spoken word, and then right here, artist. Like I would have done it. But now I can't because I got a job and stuff. You can't do that if you got a job. Now if I make enough money from writing, best believe somewhere on this body of mine, spoken word artist, poet, Vino Venitas. I don't know what's gonna happen, but whatever. That's what drugs do to you, man. You make stupid choices because you're addicted to stuff. Don't blame me. Blame poetry. Blame poetry. If you see me tattooed up with a bunch of words, it's poetry. Blame poetry. It's not my fault. But poetry, it's a good drug, but it'll make you do some amazing stuff. Poetry's a hell of a drug. What do you think? Do you think poetry is a drug? And if so, are you addicted to it? And if you don't think so, then what activity that has a positive influence on your life do you consider to be a drug? Because I know working out can be a drug. I know people in the gym all day just working out their trouble. My daddy didn't love me. He didn't love me. I've seen it happen. I've seen a lot of stuff happen, man. People running like, I need to forget life. Run. Blank. They didn't think of anything. They're just running. Focused. Stuff happens. A lot of people do a lot of different stuff to get through things. For me, it's poetry. So my question is, do you think poetry is a drug? If so, how did it help you? Do you think something else? Like, what is your drug? I'm curious. What is your drug? For me, it's poetry. So yeah, let me know. Drop me in the comments below. Hit that notification button. Hit that bell button. Before you do all that, hit that subscribe button because apparently you need to do that first, right? You need to do that first. Don't worry about it. I was sniffing some lines, some poetry lines, so I'm a little messed up. Holla at me, Love, loss, finding yourself, acceptance, moving on, pulse, available